really make New Year's resolutions or even make goals for a new year because if there is something that I want to do or change, I don't need to wait until the start of a new year to do that. However, when it comes to gardening can be quite seasonal, so a little bit of planning can go a long way, and usually making those plans at the beginning of the new year is a good idea because there might be some projects that might be better to do in the summer than, say, in the winter or springtime. So I thought that I would share some of my 2025 garden plans. The first thing I want to do is remove any plants that were here when I moved in that I don't love. I have already removed some, but there are some plants over the last couple of years that have just annoyed me. There's this lantana that has been looking scraggly for the last year or so, and it's taking up so much space, and I'd rather have that space freed up for a fruit tree. I also have this plum tree that doesn't produce, or if it does, it's one tiny plum. It's also very unhealthy, as you can see from the branches, and I suspect it will die within the next few years and will need to be removed before it falls down and crashes into my house. I also have this front yard bougainvillea, which is really annoying because it grows so fast and I spend so many hours of my life maintaining it, and I'd much rather put a fruit tree in its place as well. And speaking of fruit trees, I have a lot of trees in containers that are ready to be put in the ground or at least potted up into a larger container. I've left most of my fruit trees in their nursery containers for a while because I had read it's better to let them establish roots and mature a bit before transplanting them into the ground, so that's what I've been doing. But now I feel like it's time, so once I find the space, I want to get as many trees in the ground as I can or potted up into larger containers so their growth isn't stunted. Then I'd like to figure out some privacy screening between my neighbors because they put a huge tall trampoline in their backyard, so when the kids are on it, they can see me and I can see them, and I just value my privacy, and it's honestly a bit of an eyesore for me, and it kind of kills my vibe a bit. I did attach this fake ivy panel to these stakes, but a windstorm tore it off and messed it up, so I need something sturdier. This was never going to be a long-term solution, though, because the panel would just get faded and tattered and not look great after a while. I couldn't find any plants that would grow super fast to cover the fence line or even mature plants that were already tall, so I'm looking to get some sturdy posts installed and then putting up a lattice trellis above the fence line to cover it up and grow some pretty climbing plants through the trellis. I'd also like to work on my balcony garden. There's actually no water source up here, so it was hard to keep things alive since I had to keep going inside to fill up watering cans, and it got messy and I ended up tracking in a lot of dirt and it was frustrating, so I kind of abandoned it. And now it's just a junky mess and the wind knocked over a lot of stuff, so it really needs to be cleaned up. But I'd like to turn this balcony into a succulent and cactus garden because they don't need much water, so this will be the perfect spot for them. I'm sure as time goes on, I will think up even more projects for the garden this year, but as long as I can get these things accomplished, I'll be happy.